This is my palace, Caesar. All of it is therefore available to me at my will. I am not your prisoner. If anything, you are my guest.
Most kind.
And as for having my quarters, as you put it, made ready, my chief handmaiden has by now brought the others out of hiding. They should almost be finished.
I'm afraid it's impossible. We've had the doors under heavy guard.
There are doors and doors.
Now, that was a clip of the iconic movie Cleopatra, starring the one and only Elizabeth Taylor. Now, Taylor, a true Hollywood movie star, died today at the age of 79 from congestive heart failure at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Now, she had been in the hospital for several weeks, and my next guest interviewed the legendary actress many, many times. And joining me, the man himself, the former host of Larry King Live. Larry, I mean this sincerely. It is an honor to have you on this program. We all in this business owe you a debt of gratitude. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sean, and welcome to my home. And every time I say Sean, I think of my wife, who is upstairs watching.
Well, I've met your wife on a number of occasions, and I don't want to reveal the secret, but you know there are a lot of conservatives in your family, Larry.
I know, she's one of them. But hey, listen. Got to put up with everything.
You know, let me ask you first about Elizabeth Taylor. I know you interviewed her many, many times, and I know you were a close friend, and I know this is a deep personal loss for you. And I really, you know, from the bottom of my heart to her and her family and to you, you have my sincere condolences.
Thank you. She was very special, Sean. There was, in fact, it's kind of weird, but it's pouring rain here in Southern California. It's almost like the skies are weeping because she lived not far from where we're speaking. She was an extraordinary lady. She was a major film star at age 14 with National Velvet. She's been in the public consciousness for 65 years. And as you said, she was a true movie star. In fact, she's the last of the great movie stars. There's never been anyone quite like her, from the way she looked with those incredible eyes to the way her life went with pain and joy. She wrote her own chapter in a book that's hers.
Yeah, you've interviewed all of these great stars, Larry. What made her so special?
She was special because she didn't have a line cut between brain and mouth. That is, you asked her a question, she answered it. She was not fearful of what public opinion thought of her. She fought the battle for AIDS before Rock Hudson had AIDS. When people wouldn't, you know, there were Hollywood stars that wouldn't talk to her, wouldn't go to any of her rallies to try to raise money for AIDS because of fear of being associated with it. She stood up. She stood up for Michael Jackson in his worst days. It matters not whether you agreed with her or not. It was her ability to be so forceful for so many things, and loyalty, which to me is the #1 attribute anyone can have, was her #1 thing.
You know,
if she was your friend, Sean, she was your friend. You can't buy loyalty.
You know what? There are a lot of people that aren't loyal. I totally agree with you, and even if I disagree with them, that's fine. Let me ask you how you're doing. I watched a replay of your last show, Larry, and you know, as I was watching it, I felt a sense of history, and almost for you, a sense of sadness and loss, because all of these years, all of these interviews, all of these key moments, how hard was that for you?
It was a very hard show to do. It was, they put together a wonderful show, and they had a lot of incredible people on. And as we talked before we went on the air, I think my little son, Ken, the youngest of my children,
this was great.
Broke up the evening with his imitation of me. I think one of the funniest moments in television. But it was a sad night. You know, you do something for 25 and a half years in one place at the same time. It was a tough show to do. You'll do it one day, Sean. You'll stand there and have to do your last show, and if it's a Democratic president, you'll be crying. It'll be fun to watch.
I'm crying now, Larry. I mean, forget about then. I'm crying now. You know, your son, I don't know what was funnier, though, the Bill Clinton being part of the Zipper Club, but I think your son did steal the night. I thought he was phenomenal. Well, what do you miss the most?
Yeah, little Ken, he's a natural. What do I miss the most? I miss the most what's going on now. I miss the not being there in the middle of a scene when when Japan is undergoing what it's undergoing, or we're discussing Libya or Egypt. You like to be in the hunt. But on the other hand, I have more time with my family. I'm one of the coaches of my son's Little League team. I spend more time here. I'm also involved in doing some other things, which I'm going to do a comedy tour starting in May. In fact, you're going to come and see me at Westbury.
I would honestly look forward to it. You know, let me ask you this, because we work, let's be honest, in a world where there are a lot of people that we may describe as maybe narcissistic or egotistical somewhat. In all the years that we competed together, and I've never viewed you as anything but somebody that I admired and I respected. You're a class act.
Oh, thank
there was
you.
never a negative word that I can recall between us. And, you know, I think that's kind of rare today.
Yeah, I guess it is. I never believed in that. I always believed, as an interviewer, it was my role to be a conduit to the public. I never wanted anyone to fail. I like my business. If I like my business, if I love my broadcasting business, why would I want people not to do well?
Yeah.
I like to see people do well. It's a healthy, wonderful field to be in, and I'm proud of it. And I like people to do well in it. So I try not to think negatively. And that, by the way, was one of the wonderful things about Elizabeth Taylor. She was a very positive person, and that came through on the screen.
Yeah, it did. And you know what? You being a positive person and a positive force on both the political scene and interviewing every big star, you've had a profound impact on the broadcasting industry, Larry. You had a profound impact on the culture, on society, on political debate. And I hope we can spend more time together maybe in the future. We'd love to see you. I'm looking forward to coming to your show in Westbury. We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Be well.
All right, appreciate it. Time now to check in with Greta Van Susteren for a sneak peek. That was a little bit of history. She's on the record tonight. Greta.
Well, you know, Sean, I used to guest host for Larry, and that was quite a thrill, so it's really fun for me to see Larry. I love Larry. Larry's my friend. But anyway, that's an aside. Tonight we have Governor Sarah Palin, who's just back from India and Israel, and in fact she was in Israel yesterday, a terrible bombing today. So we'll have the very latest. We'll go to Steve Harrigan, find out what's going on in Libya. And there are all these problems with health care, and you know Virginia's taking on the health care, so Attorney General Cuccinelli is here to go on the record. So we have a lot in store tonight, so I don't think you should go home until after our show.
All right, where are you?
I'm in Florida. It's beautiful. But actually, we intercepted the governor. She's on her way back to Alaska.
I just got done saying to Larry that we never had a crossword with each other, but I really resent the living daylights out of you being in paradise. I think that's unfair. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, I'm going back to rain tomorrow.
All right, let not your heart be troubled. Greta's in 18 minutes, and our great, great, great American panel straight ahead.